Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Control, where we have returned to the game because the Foundation expansion is now available. This story-based content that was promised to continue the game, because the expedition, though it's an interesting idea, I'm not good enough to succeed in the expedition's content. Also, since the expedition doesn't necessarily lead to any story development, I didn't necessarily push myself to actually do better at it. So I only played through like the intro to the expedition, and the first stage of the expedition. But it's clear that either I need to be a better player, or I need to be a more upgraded Jesse, or a combination thereof. That said, the first of the two story-based DLC is out, for the PlayStation 4 at least. I believe the version that's going... the Foundation... Oh, by the way, I changed Jesse's costume a couple times. So I'm going to probably change the costume again. But I believe the Foundation is coming on the Xbox One and PC in a month from now. And it's just like a timed exclusive for the PlayStation. But let us change this outfit out because I'm not really a big fan of it. It's really neat and sci-fi. But it doesn't necessarily reflect Jessie's character so much. Like, it makes it look like she's more of an experiment. Like, the civilian clothes is what I ran for most of the game, which itself is pretty awesome. Urban response, I don't think I was a big fan of. It definitely seems relatively civvy in its process. And Canon P7 I'm definitely not a fan of, because it's basically just like even more test-ish. So I usually these days have been switching to either the office assistant, which she wore during her nightmare phase, or the director's suit, because Jesse Faden's the director of this facility. Of course she'd be wearing the director's suit. But let's see exactly how we're supposed to actually access the new content, and whether or not I actually remember how to play the game. Because it's been a couple minutes. Alright, so it turns out I bought the DLC, the season pass, but because I didn't also go to the store to download the DLC, it did not count as me having it. So now I just need to go talk to the board in the hotline chamber? Where was the hotline chamber again? How does one access the map? There we go. So that is going to be straight? No.
We gotta be methodical. Clean out every last hiss with one thorough sweep.
Or is this a good path? This place can be a bit of a maze. Alright, I'm just going to cut to me getting to the hotline chamber, assuming nothing interrupts that path. Actually, it's probably a good thing if something does interrupt my path. That way I could kind of relearn how I even play the game. How do I even switch weapons? Oh yeah, tap square. And I've got Grip and shotgun? This just takes me to the director's office. Yeah, I have to go around to the mailroom. Or I could just... Yeah, I'm definitely skipping ahead to the hotline chamber. Due to how definitely labyrinthian. Like, I would imagine that would be tricky for anybody who's new to this building. Like, to try to just navigate the place. Would be a bit on the tricky side. But with luck, I will actually find some guys I could fight on my way there. That way, I get a little bit of practice, because... Ah, hello, sir! Haha, take that! Okay, I've refound the hotline chamber. Why do I need to go all the way back to the hotline chamber when I also have the phone on me at all times?
Even if it was a dream, I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline. I have a feeling he and Trench won't be the only callers from beyond.
Nope, there will also be the board. Director, situation crisis, uh-oh, in the Foundation. We demand your attention/moxie. Oldest house is in danger. We open the door/tree in maintenance. Hurry, post haste.
Problem in the Foundation. That was Ahti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
Seems important. Alright, now I have to get to a fast travel spot so I can get to the Foundation, which I believe should be right next to a fast travel spot. So, was this a quick way to the director's office? Could I have just gone through the director's office? Yes, I could have. I could have just gone through the director's office. That's okay. That's just a learning process. It's been... Has it been a few months since I've played this game? Yeah, it's been a few months. So let's head back to the central executive area. Dong. Were they talking about Night Springs? They were probably talking about Night Springs. Okay. Alright. So, also? No, I guess I have to earn any outfits. Let's see. We need to go to the restricted area, which is the Foundation. Which is very convenient. And I thought the placement of the fast travel point there was useful, largely because it meant that, like, the Foundation is an area you only visited once in order to get the cassette tape from Ahti, in order to make your way through the ashtray maze. And it's way off the grid. So, I don't think I was expecting to actually go back.
Transdimensional. This place really suits Ahti.
So I figured that the fast travel point was more of a convenience than anything else. But
Okay.
it's
Let's try opening it.
doubly convenient by kind of placing the DLC here, because it really means it's away from everything else. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not worrying about this. About that, those hiss nodes. I'm busy opening a door and entering a loading screen.
No time for sightseeing. The board said this was an emergency.
But what about these beautiful dark crags and these illustrious mists. There's so much to sightsee. And these mineral formations. Don't get me started about the mineral formations. Ah! Sudden stalactite formations.
Here in a while.
Yeah. Although this actually presents an interesting idea because, like, the oldest house is itself some sort of formation that exists in the world. Does that mean that the earth below the oldest house is part of the oldest house? Did that move? Are you guys moving?
The crystals are kind of pretty. Emily would be having a field day down here.
Yeah, the crystals seem to be erupting from the walls. That crystal is kind of moving.
My life's been a strange one. Certainly stranger than I'd like. But this place, it's something else. The floors crawl, the walls slither. It's a shifting pit. On the street, it's just another drab building standing there for anyone to see. But no one does. How did we miss it? Northmore. Acting director Northmore now is on a train from Washington. He'll expect answers, which is why I'm making these tapes. They're evidence that I'm at least trying to understand. Father searched his entire life for something like this, and we find it 1 week after he's buried. He always hated irony. Of course, Father, the great director, Ash, would have been the first man in. And look at me, his bookworm son, the supposed head of research who can't stop his legs from shaking long enough to step over the threshold.
Alright, so this is essentially a little bit more information about the discovery of the oldest house. Because the oldest house is one of the buildings that kind of like, it can only be found if you're looking for it. Now, it looks like there are 2 paths on the map, but one I can't seem to go through. So I will go through the only available one to research Site Delta.
The foundation. Bottom of the oldest house. Stop the hiss.
Marshall? How was she on the hotline?
Unless she's dead.
I only heard of the foundation when I became head of operations. The very bottom of the oldest house. Director access only. Just the name alone is classified. Zachariah gave me a tour the day I was promoted. Said I should see it for myself, to understand. After that, I snuck down on my own from time to time to keep...
Zachariah?
And on them. But nothing ever changed down there.
Oh. So the foundation was permanent, but the rest of the house was always shifting. So the entire idea that the foundation is shifting, that is problematic.
I have to stop the hiss from finding this place. I'm the only one who can.
What about the director? Also?
Jesus. She seemed like the kind of woman who could survive anything.
Well, she doesn't have your awesome gun. And telekinetic abilities. So really, if she could survive anything, that means that she's super tough.
Found their way down here too.
Yep. The explosive kind. The ones that blow up into sparkly Rainbows of mist. Oh, and I think this just leads me to Loot Crate. This is an interesting level in regards to lighting. Like, there are some extremely bright areas led in between areas of almost complete darkness. Let's see. This is, I think... Yep, that is really bright. Can I fly up to the top there? I cannot. Didn't I have a dash ability? Can I dash upwards? No, I can only dash horizontally. Didn't I have I used to think I had a slam ability too. Research Site Delta. I guess that is the direction I should be heading in. Also interesting how I can only grab onto very specific stalactites, and wow, that is bright. Object. Thank you. And let us cleanse... Oh, no. Let us hit the button that actually does cleanse this control point. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Alas, the deep cavern is unassailable. I will have to just go on without checking out its wares. Foundation is a relatively... Yeah, it's basically its own area in its own right. Let's see. I don't know if any of these, Kill Hiss Distorted, Shield Barrage Tactics, yeah, why not? I'll just keep those as is. Are terribly important for this area. Oh. Which I think this kind of the incredibly bright light, which I'm going to try not to look at because it is very bright, makes it an interesting counterpoint to, what was the name of the area, the Black Rock? Because the Black Rock is basically like, oh, hello. Oh, hello. Join me. Sir. Nope. Interesting. These guys are really fast melee characters. Join me, sir, in jolly cooperation.
We're using pickaxes now.
Yeah, interesting. A nifty little twist on the Hiss character. Because it's like, you can escape them relatively easily. You just have to always keep sticking and moving. Just stick and move. What do we got in here? Launch ammo refund. Is that under weapon mod? I think that's under weapon mod. And I'm not... Yeah, ammo recovery on launch hits. Actually? Hold on. That's not a terribly bad one. The idea of getting ammo back after you use launch. Essentially, this means that it creates a cycle. Similar to, say, Doom Eternal. Like, Doom Eternal's cycle of collecting and using ammo is based around the idea of, like, you're always kind of harvesting ammo from demons in order to use ammo, in order to harvest ammo. So if you're shooting guys, that deals damage, but then you launch stuff at guys, that gets you ammo, so you could shoot guys again. Relocation order. I didn't bother holding down the button, so hold on 1 second while I track down whichever... whichever subheading this is under. Ah, there we go. Tom, you missed the good news. I'm sure the official memo will go out soon, but Northmore called in all hands at the crossroads to announce we're finally moving out of this hellhole and up into the house proper. Bureau brass apparently solved the moving walls problem, or at least figured out a way to pinpoint where and when they happen. All I know is going up means goodbye darkness, goodbye weird lunches with that ex-Nazi scientist, and goodbye pissing into the pit. I know that was you, Barry. Northmore's ordering the Foundation sealed as soon as we can haul our stuff out and somehow convince Ash to come with us. He's the only one kicking up a fuss. This is long overdue. We've lost 11 men and damn near $10,000 in supplies, moving between the entrance and the Foundation. And for what? Research? Ash is batty if he thinks we want to stay here and sift through more sand with him. It's just rusted iron flakes anyway. Did you know that? We were breathing that shit in. Huh. Okay, that was a lot to take in. An ex-Nazi scientist? So Ash wanted everybody to stay? Ah, crossroads. I suppose that is a crossroad chamber. Beware of dangerous toxic geysers. Imagine that. Let's see. Anything up here before I carry on? Oh. Okay, so I think this leads to a dead end, so I'm going to take a look here first because there's probably something at the dead end for me to... Once again, I don't think I can fly up that high. Yeah. So that's two sections that are a little bit outside of my reach. Alright. There's probably more geysers, more toxic geysers as we continue. But until we see them, let's continue reading. More correspondence from Mr. Wilder. I have some bad news. You remember that Robert Ricardo fellow we brought in as a special consultant to map the lower caves? Well, today he found a chamber with weird eyes covering every inch of the walls, and a strange black pillar in the center. Kinda looks like the one at the crossroads, but smaller. We had a bureau member shadowing him, but whatever happened in there did a number on our guest. The docs are taking a look, but it's pretty clear Mr. Adventure's exploring days are over. I know we were careful to limit this guy's exposure to the non-ordinary. Drugging him and carrying him through the upper floor was a real hoot, by the way, but we really need to reevaluate our policies on external contractors. Honestly, we'd be better off forming a special division trained in repelling and orienting than subjecting more outsiders to the shit we deal with. They almost always end up dead or a loony. Yeah, that sounds like a good reason not to get outside influence. Ammo efficiency. What does that do, other than being efficient with ammo? Ammo cost per shot. Alright. Ah, so bright. I wonder if it's that column that they're talking about. The one with the eyes.
The astral plane is cutting into our dimension.
Oh.
What if this happens in the upper floors? It'll destroy the bureau.
So that's where the white light is coming from. The white light is literally the astral plane. What are you, sir? Actually, join me, sir, in jolly cooperation. That took a little bit of forever. There we go. An astral copy. A torrent of new information has been collected on entities known as astral copies. The copies' bodies are composed of a dense stone-like material. Whether the astral copies possess individual consciousness or are directed by higher intelligence such as the board remains unknown. However, their shared aggression seems to indicate a unified goal. They appear immune to hiss corruption. Interesting. Alright, let's try to go there, because that seems like a path. Whereas that also seems like a path, but I cannot get to it at this moment. And I wonder if the Foundation...
I wish I'd brought Emily with me. I could really use my head of research right about now.
I agree. I wonder if the farther I get into this area, the more stable the region becomes, the more likely I'll then be able to...
Marshall? Marshall! You're alive! Wait!
I'll be able to actually explore the area. Yeah, I highly doubt that's Marshall. Or at the very least, I worry that that's a corrupted version of Marshall.
Whoa. This place is huge. Marshall? Can
all
you
right.
hear me? She was on the hotline, so that person couldn't have been Marshall, right? One problem at a time. Let's see what's going on with that pillar first.
But first, let us claim this control point. Excellent. And also, let's look inside this building for loot and information, because knowing is half the battle. Is this,
It's been 5 days since we first entered the building. Traversing the interior is dangerous due to the shifting, but we did manage to find a lower cavern that seems structurally predictable, which is a scientific way of saying its walls won't crush us in our sleep. Northmore even made a discovery. A pistol placed on a stone pedestal in front of that strange ebony pillar.
is that the discovery of the gun?
Storybook, except the heroes usually find swords, not handguns. But it is the perfect lure for someone like him.
But then the tool is modified by the perception of it.
Northmore cornered me to spout some nonsense about how the board had made him the director. He ranted about the title being meaningless before now, calling Father and all other previous directors shams, frauds, and worse. I think this place is worse for Northmore than it is for me. Strangest thing? There was no pedestal in front of that pillar a day ago. This building has swallowed a dozen of my men, and now it's handing...
Oh, and this brings up the problem. This brings up an interesting sort of problem.
Certainly losing. Hell, we don't even know the rules.
When the lady in the lake throws a sword and presents the sword to the king, does the king determine themselves that of having power, or is it the lady that determines who holds on to said power? When a person becomes a director, when a person promotes, is that promotion given to them based upon their skill, their ability to do a job, or based upon the people that appointed them? Like, let's say, if I work hard and I believe in myself, and I show my accomplishments, ultimately somebody has to decide on elevating my status. Is it my boss? Is it my boss's boss? Is it the board? Is it some non-Euclidean element that creates a ascension of power? How do they determine who has the power? By choosing who has the power, by choosing who becomes the director. Is the board not also maintaining control over the direction of the FBC? Rather than having the people decide on their own director, the board chooses the director for itself. And is the FBC no longer in control of itself? What on earth is down there? Let's head over to this thingamabob. That's the technical name for it. That or thingamajig or whatchamacallit. Of the nature of the pillar. The pillar found in the crossroads is best described as an onyx spike that protrudes from the cave floor like an imposing stalagmite. Despite its aggressive silhouette, the structure has an undeniable allure. Freud would certainly have something to say about the pillar's overly erect nature, but I'm more drawn to Whitmore's essay on dynamic layers, structures within structures, the fractal mirror in every being. Given its significant location, I believe the pillar is either the very heart of the oldest house, or an intrusion within the heart. Or perhaps it's like the husk of a seed, from which the oldest house sprouted. Trottier wrote that great architecture isn't built, it grows. But then why does the pillar look so different from the rest of this place's concrete walls and rocky caverns? It's easier to see it as an anomaly, a buried artifact, a foreign body, a demonic phallus. I wonder if this pillar is any more welcome here than we are. But now here's a further question. What does the board gain from controlling the FBC? Nail door monolith is hurt. Touch revere it to enter. Repair the nail link to prevent astral consumption collision. This is the director's duty / plot, authorized for single new tool upgrade. Use it to save the Foundation Us Bureau. Alright. Left self or right weapon. Only one is permitted. Which will you choose become?
So I can only choose one? I thought I was done with these tests.
I will... left, upgrade self, right, upgrade weapon. I will go left. I don't even know what I'm getting out of this. Huh. Alright. I'm not impressed. I will go left. Will grant shape manipulate. Right will grant fracture / undo. Huh. Weird. Alright. I will go left. Because that sounds a little bit more interesting. Not that I need essentially more powers. We are tweaking / cultivating the abilities / you. Minerals, roots, particles grow across the foundation. Use the new upgrade self to shape inflate. First director to receive earned this. You should feel honored, handled. Once again, the board is acting out of the board's interest. Can I shape again? Yes, I can. Okay, so it shapes for a temporary period of time before it comes apart. Still? It's interesting. I wonder if there's more, if this is just more of a utility. Dismantle, loosen the 4 locks, keys / MacGuffins, located in the fringe nowhere of the astral plane. Astral bleeding collision has spread, lost them. Do this and the nail will be repaired / glued, crisis averted. P.S. bonus round, hiss are present in the Foundation. Trespassing, snooping is forbidden. No snooping on our watch. Some crystals can be shaped into dangerously sharp points. Ooh. Interesting. So basically traps. This is something that can be used for the purposes of movement and the purposes of traps. Excellent. I like it. A little bit more interesting than just shooting a gun at man. Alright, where am I? Crystals can be shaped while levitating to create platforms. Seems important. That way, I could be moving towards them rather than have to worry about any timer. There we go. And let's get out of here with our newfound power. Also, I would imagine this would make those areas that I wasn't able to access accessible.
Let's review. This broken pillar is called the Nail. It was broken by something, and now the astral plane is bleeding into the foundation, which will destroy the oldest house, the bureau, and everyone inside. I need to find 4 locks, or keys, or whatever, to stop that from happening. But I'm the director. I've handled worse. This should be simple-ish.
Simple enough. I follow. But I think this is going to be it for now. I just take a look at some of these ability points, what I can spend them on. In the meantime, though, Control is going to be continuing on tomorrow. Red Dead 2, as always, Mondays and Tuesdays. Doom Eternal, Wednesday and Thursday. Turok, Dinosaur Hunter on Friday. Got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.